Global Premier Football podcast. This is, I don't know, second or third week of 2022. This is Shaquille and Chidi right here. Let's get into it.
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you? Hope you've had a nice weekend full of some interesting games, and for me as a Chelsea fan, boring games. But we're here to talk about it, and yeah, let's get it going.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Let's talk about City versus Chelsea. I watched the entire game, and City was top notch. And let's get into what do you think Chelsea was lacking that day?
I think in that game we lacked almost everything. I don't even know how to classify our performance in that game. It was lethargic. It was so. It was not what we used to see from Chelsea. You know, the energy in the team, the desire to match City. You know, for City's type of play. You know, I was really not happy with the performance of the team. You know, in general. The I don't even know if I should. I mean, in the tactical aspect of the game, because that's where the game is played. It's all about the tactics of the game, the formation of the team. It's a formation that they've been playing since took over. So, but tactically, the movement of the players were very poor. It's like they didn't know what to do with the ball when we had the ball. Players were being isolated in very, very tough positions and dangerous positions on the field of play. Players were being isolated, and that really affected the team. And of course, City are always out for business.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about, but you mentioned formation, and let's start with the goalkeeper. Mendy, of course, not with the team. And I thought Mendy, he not being here, there was a big change for the team. Well, although the keeper did a good job, but Mendy, he brings a different aura to the team. What do you think, Mendy not being there?
I mean, Mendy was just voted the best goalkeeper in the world, you know, for 2021. And and since he left for the African Cup of Nations with Senegal, Kepa had kept some games, in the League Cup or the Carabao Cup, and also in the FA Cup games. But and I remember Tuchel saying that he didn't find he doesn't find Kepa nervous, you know, but I saw some things that yes wouldn't have happened if Kepa was there. Sorry, if Mendy was
Mendy was
there.
there.
You know, if you can remember, there was a time that Kepa played the pass through the middle, and we literally lost it. Just that Man City did not capitalize on
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
you know, to score. And then his clearance as well, which led, you know, which we did not win the second ball, and then leading to Kevin De Bruyne scoring the goal. And I was, after the game, you know, when the goal is scored, you see the replay, you know, in the slow motion, you know, picture, you see that Kepa's movement as well, prior to the shot, you know, coming in. I mean, I don't really blame him much because there were bodies in front of him. But as well, I think maybe if Mendy was there, maybe it wouldn't be a goal, you know, because the goal was not as if De Bruyne played, you know, like found the bottom corner.
Yeah.
You know, it was actually in between a quarter of the post and where the goalkeeper was, and he wasn't able to save it. You know, I don't take the blame on him completely, but I think, you know, that goal shouldn't
Should have
have been
happened.
scored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more thing with the keeper and the defenses, Chelsea was playing too deep. Like they had ball in their defense a lot of times, as the commentator mentioned, they were playing with fire, and I did not understand why Chelsea was trying. Whether it was the pressure from City, or was it just like they wanted to play more in defense?
Yes, well, if you look at Man City's transitioning, right? When they play out from the back, they are not a long ball team. They play out from the back, but their transition, theirs is quicker than Chelsea's. Chelsea is slow. Chelsea gives opposition times to close them down. Chelsea allows the players allow slow and lethargic passing. Movement without the ball is one of the most faulty areas of this Chelsea team in the past 5 games, let me just put it that way. Movement of the ball, the quick movement of the players to create space in order for the player that has the ball to play the pass, play simple, maybe play 2 touches. And to play 2 touches, there must be quick movement without the ball. But when you have extra touches, players are moving and moving into the wrong position or moving out of position. And when you play the ball, opposition is already on you. And what happened? You just miss it. Because Man City, when they press very, very well. They press collectively. They don't press one man goes and the rest watch and see what will happen. They press collectively. So once the player is moving, the other player is reading where the possible pass is going to. What happens? They're all going in there and they're winning the ball from there. And that's what they did to Chelsea. And Chelsea could not find a way out from that.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. What do you think playing away? Like me personally, I thought from the start of the game, City had edge over Chelsea because of the fans and the entire atmosphere of the stadium. Uh, Chelsea was fine for like first 10 minutes. They had few chances, and then like same thing happened in the second half. But like after 10 minutes, they were pretty much dead, like as if they don't want to play.
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea is such a big team that it's not about playing away or home, and Man City has become a big team as well, going from when they were purchased by the City Group to when they had their new purchase, the millionaires came in and they purchased the team, just like Chelsea is owned by a billionaire as well. Their own Man City is also owned by a billionaire. But what I'm saying is, Man City has come of age to now become a big team in England. Title contenders. For the past, well, I'd say 8 seasons now. They've been title contenders all the time. It's either they are first or they are second. And most of the times, I think if they win this time, it will be their 5 titles. Sorry, I think their 6th title, in a very short period of time. And why I'm saying this is that it's not all about you playing, away or home. If you are a big team, if you are a team that spent lots of money on players, if you're a team that spent, that has the best managers in the world, you go and you win in any stadium. It's not like you just go and then you're being suppressed because of the chant or because of the noise from the opposition fans. No, you're there. These are 2 elephants, fighting and, fighting for 3 points. And City ended up coming out on top. And I think Chelsea were not affected because they were at City's home ground. It's just because they were not in the game. They did not actually play football on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll talk about the next game that happened today, but let's go back. The Chelsea team's morale was low from start. Um, what do you think? There is something going on in the dressing room, and yeah, like are players happy with each other, or what's going on? Like it looked like they're not playing collectively, even on Saturday.
Yes, there's no collective play in the team. Everyone can see that. Um, I don't like picking up on individual players because it is a team game. But also we need to know and or remember that once the piece of the puzzle is not there or it's not working, everything falls apart. So it's a team game. So it's not as if, okay, I want to pick on, let's say, for example, Lukaku. But if Lukaku is not playing, if Lukaku is not making movement, if the midfielders are not making movement, that single player that is not giving what he should be giving on the field of play, basically the whole team will fall apart because it's like a puzzle. It's like the chess game, you know. Everything must be moving, okay? Everyone must be moving. Anyone that stops moving, the whole team falls apart. And that is what Man City do very well. Every single player in Man City is alive in a game. The Chelsea team, they were here and there. There was no collectivity. There was no, the mental strength, that energy. There's a vibe. There's an energy that when Chelsea step on the field to play, they come at you. They want to devour you. They want to take you apart. That drive is not in the team. And that drive not being in the team, it affects every other thing that the players want to do. It affects everything that the team wants to achieve.
Yeah, I think that's so true. Like from the start of the game, like Chelsea was not pressing, not even in defense. Like in the midfield, they were not pressing City's defense, and there are a few chances at the start of the game, like Lukaku and Hakim Ziyech tried to create, but other than that, like there was, I think in the first half, possession was mostly by City, and coming back to the collectiveness of the team, like I thought there was lack of communication, even though Tuchel was trying to push the team by getting angry, but as if Lukaku was just like trying to play his own style, still keeping what he wants to do more than.
Yeah, I mean, again, it goes back to that collectivity that once one is not working, every other thing falls apart. Now, if you look at the physical condition of the team, I mean, Man City have been playing games as well all this while. It's not as if they've been taking breaks. They've been playing almost the same amount of games like Chelsea, all this while. And it's just today that Chelsea has an extra game on them. But Man City have been playing games as well. Yeah. So they're not like resting and taking time off or maybe had COVID cases or injuries. So why is it that the energy level of Man City is just right there? Their players are winning every one-on-one situation, coverage from teammate. If my teammate does not win it, the next one is coming and winning it for me. They're winning every second ball. Chelsea never won any second ball. And when you don't win second balls, basically your team collapses. Basically you are out-muscled physically, mentally, tactically. Chelsea were out-muscled by Man City. They were not winning second balls. They were weak. And for me, if you don't have physical strength to play, I know this might sound maybe to the skinny player out there or to the lanky or tiny player out there. If you don't have to be muscular to be a very good footballer for me. I mean, to be able to play in the Premier League. Yeah. Let's just use the Premier League right now. You must have to be quite. If you look at the physiology of Man City players, they were winning. They were strong. They are able to win one-on-one situations. Even Foden, look at Foden. Foden never gives up. Foden will fight you, will try to press you, will try to bully you. Ziyech, good player, but can't take on one-on-one. He can't sprint, he can't break, he can't do anything. Lukaku, as big as he is, cannot run, cannot shake off markers and, fight very, very hard. I don't know if it's a mental situation or it's just that they cannot physically compete. At the moment, the team cannot physically compete. And when a team cannot physically compete, they cannot win any game, no matter the type of opposition. Let them play Man City, let them play Brentford, let them play Brighton, let them play Aston Villa, let them play Burnley. They will find it hard to win games because they cannot physically compete. Not just because if if you look at the physiology of Chelsea players, look at their physiology. Look at the physiology of Man City players. Strong, bold, intimidating. They can play you technically, tactically. They understand what they're doing. Chelsea, do they have that? No. I mean, I say again, don't get me wrong, everyone that is listening to this, but Christian Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech, Marcos Alonso, Jorginho, they are not physically competent for me for them to play in the Premier League. Even the young player that's still coming on, what's his name, Mason Mount, they cannot physically compete. They cannot physically compete. And I believe that every footballer, especially playing in the Premier League, you have to be physically, your physique should be strong enough that you can compete in midfield, going to tackles, because when you're stronger physically, and then you run, the muscles pushes you to run faster. Look at Kyle Walker.
Sometimes, was that instance,
Kyle Walker and Hakim Ziyech. Yeah. Ziyech was like 2 steps ahead. But he couldn't.
Long way for the ball.
What he did, he just like slowed down, cut back, and made a back pass. Yeah. Man City, they're driving forward because what? If I am more physically, stronger than you, there's this mental aspect of my game that I have an edge over you, that I can beat you. And that is one of the things that Chelsea as a team is lacking. I don't know who is making these signings in Chelsea, but I think it's time for us to go back to signing the likes of Michael Essien, Michael Ballack, Didier Drogba, Nicolas Anelka, even Solomon Kalou. As small as he was strong, was able to compete. Eden Hazard, that held off Arsenal defenders and midfielders from the central midfield to scoring that solo goal. The same Eden Hazard did it against West Ham. Now in Chelsea, we don't have anyone who can do that.
Yes, I didn't see anything in that game. That is true. I was going to ask you, what did you think, although City only made two subs, what do you think of the starting 11 for Chelsea? Were you happy? I mean, they were all good players, but me personally, I wasn't happy with Lukaku starting. But what are your thoughts on the starting 11 for Chelsea? What could have you changed? What did you want to see?
For me personally, I would start with, changing maybe the formation of this team. If you look, we played a 3-4-2-1. Okay, a 3-4-2-1, and I will put Alonso on the bench, and I'll play Sarr as a left back. I'll play him as a left back, improvise him as a left back. I'll put him there as a left back. Thiago Silva and Rudiger playing the 2 centre backs. Azpilicueta will play the full back. I'll play back 4 because this team, I think they do not have the energy anymore. Azpilicueta and Alonso do not have the energy to go back and forth again in a back 3. Because when you do that, you expect that your wing backs, in this case, Alonso and Azpilicueta, you expect them to be able to go up and down, but they do not have that strength anymore. They are older players now. Maybe 3 years ago or 4 seasons ago, Alonso could do that because he scored lots of goals doing that for Chelsea. But I also know that age catches up with players, so the ability to do that back and forth week in, week out, it's not there anymore. So I wouldn't be playing them in the back 3. I will instead improvise Sarr to play for me as a left back. And do we have what it takes to play in a 4-3-2-1 job, in a 4-2-3-1 like Man City played? Absolutely, we do, because Kovacic and Kante and then and Jorginho, they can play in those two, in the double 6 there, in the 2 holding midfield position. And then I would have played 4-2-3-1 like Man City have played. Even if it is playing without Lukaku, and I'll play Kai Havertz, because Kai Havertz, for me, he wins aerial contests than Lukaku. He's a little bit skinny, but I think he's strong to win area contests. He reads the ball. He can jump well. He wins area contest. Lukaku never wins any area contest for me. It's like he's scared to go on the air and to contest.
Yeah,
You know,
totally
as
agree.
big as he is and as huge as he is, he should be intimidating
Yeah.
defenders of all types and all calibers. But no, he's not. So for me, he is slow. His technique is poor. His first touch is one of the most awful first touches for a center forward to have, you know. And that aside, I will play Pulisic on the wing. I will not play Pulisic as a central player in the way that he played in a 3-4-2-1. So I will play Pulisic as a winger, and then maybe play Ziyech as the winger on the other side, or completely remove Ziyech and play Hudson-Odoi on the left, and then play Mason Mount in the number 10 role, and then put Kai Havertz as the out and out right maybe false nine, because that's also what Man City did. Man City did not play the game with a proper number 9, and we tried to play with a proper number 9, and guess what? We got nothing out of our proper number 9. And the past few games that Lukaku has played for us as a proper number 9, he has not given us anything. How many goals has he scored for us in the past 5 games? I think only 1 or 2. You know, in the game against Aston Villa, and pretty much that's it. Or did he score against Spurs? I can't even remember. But back to that lineup again. I think it's time for Mr. Tuchel to switch formation. The back three is not working because the wing backs are not working. The wing backs are not working at the moment. And for me, him playing, for example, there are sometimes he played Pulisic as a wing back. Pulisic is never a wing back and will never give us the quality that he will give us as an outright attacking player that only comes back to help when it's needed. But for him to be doing back and forth defending and attacking as a wing back, that is not him at all. The same thing is for Hudson-Odoi. That is not for them. So I will switch back to a back four, 2 central midfielders, three forwards, or three attacking midfielders, and then with a false 9. And that false 9 will be Kai Havertz for me because he knows how to do that well. That's what he did for us in the Champions League against Man City, and that was how we got our goal and we won that Champions League title last season. So Man City, you can't even. Every player in the Man City lineup they were all top class. They were on top of their game. There was no one that I can say that made a mistake in Man City. You know, I mean, despite that we had clear chances to score, even before they scored, they created more chances. But the one-on-one option that we had, except the one that Grealish missed, yes, Kepa was pretty good too in that game. I think he was Chelsea's man of the match in that game. But he made a very good save from Grealish. You know, so besides that, option and the chance to score, which they created, Lukaku also had similar
Yeah,
chance.
Lukaku had actually more chances.
If you see his body positioning to shoot, you know that he was never going to score because the way he positioned his body to shoot.
It takes longer for him to move too.
Yeah, it takes longer. It's like he's heavy on him. So he cannot even lift his own self, you know. So as well, he could have, because Ederson was way out of his goal. So because he closed the space on him when he rushed out, Lukaku could have as well taken that ball into his right foot and then try to finish. Because by then, the moment he take it to his right foot, Ederson must have been dribbled with him taking the ball from his left to his right, because that was the way the ball was coming and was right on his left. He tried to take it right away and there was no power in it. There was no placement in it. If there was power and with the placement, he would score. But there was no power in it because his body movement to hit or to shoot the ball was already not good enough to give power to the ball when he took the shot. And that was what made Ederson, you know, the only reason why Ederson saved it, because Lukaku was poor in finishing.
Yeah, he did not position himself, and then the power in the shot, and yeah, he there was another chance in the first half. He made a pass to, I think,
Oh,
Ziyech.
oh my word.
That was a
Oh
terrible
my
pass as well.
goodness. Oh no. Oh no. Now you made me remember that too. He had his face on the ground. He
Yeah,
was looking at the ball. He was looking down and then played the ball to Ziyech, who was already in an offside position when Alonso could have been the
a
best
better. Yeah,
option. If he had his face up, he himself might even score because the ball was on his left foot.
yeah,
Lukaku is a left footer but never takes long range shots.
that is true. Yeah,
Everything, check him. He almost never takes long range shots. If that ball was on his left and he had, how many seconds did it take Kevin? You see the class between him and Kevin De Bruyne. There's a difference in class.
true.
Because Kevin De Bruyne had lots of people in front. Kevin De Bruyne walked for the ball because he shoved off Kante, dribbled towards the goal, had Thiago, I think Alonso or Spilicueta, and then had Rudiger,
Yeah,
and then Mr. Kovacic was coming in from behind, and he still took that shot, and then he still scored. Lukaku had space.
yeah.
He had 1, 2, 3 right in front, his teammate on the right, his teammate on the left, but his eyes was on the ones on the ball.
There's one thing. Well, we talked about Lukaku. His first touch is terrible. We know that. But there's one other thing. Like when you look at De Bruyne, he has this ability of when he has the ball, he can make space. Like he can push a ball a little bit further from his body and run faster and make space and take the shot. I have not seen Lukaku do that. Like he's so hard to like adjust himself. It doesn't look like his body is as of a footballer.
Yeah, I think he's heavy. He's very heavy for a footballer. Unfortunately for me, that's how I categorize him. You know, when he went to Inter Milan, they had to change his diet, they only fed him fish. His diet they removed meat and it was only eating fish. And I heard that he dropped like 2 to 3 stones, you know, and that made him maybe lighter. And when you're lighter, you're able to move. You feel that you can fly. And when you're muscular and you're lighter but muscular, you can sprint and there will be force in your sprinting. You will be able to overtake players. You'll be able to run, shake off a marker even when you're running.
He looks more like a rugby player.
He looks more, yes, he looks more like a rugby player. For me, I'm sorry, Lukaku, but no, you need to shed a little bit more. You need to be a little bit lighter and pure muscle. If I remember Didier Drogba and look at Lukaku and remember Drogba, it's like, no. If I even Diego Costa was strong. He was strong and he was a bully. Defenders hated playing against Diego Costa. You know?
That's the important thing. Defenders needs to hate you.
Yeah.
And Lukaku, he gives
He makes it easy for them.
Yeah, he doesn't move. He doesn't he does push, but it's very predictable the kind of pushing he does. Like at the very end, like he needs to move and confuse the defender.
Because he drops. As a coach, I tell my players, my center forward players, or any player, attacking players, midfielders, defenders, when we are in possession, the opposition should be looking for you.
Yeah.
They should be looking for you, not you rubbing shoulder with them and trying to lean on them to get the ball. No, shake off the marker, go to them, go to the ball and guard the ball. I don't think Lukaku knows how to guard the ball.
Yeah.
Without having to lean on the opposition and to be able to get the ball.
Since he is really poor at first touch, I think what he's trying to do is he tries to make space for him so he can, when the ball arrives, he can do a better first touch. Like he needs more space to do first touch.
That means that how has he made it?
Yeah. I was gonna talk about the game versus Liverpool was totally different, even though it was a tie, but Chelsea was way better that game.
Yeah, we had energy.
This last 2 games.
We had energy. The 2 games that we played against Liverpool this season, we had energy.
Yeah.
I think, excuse me, again, I think there are players that we are missing that brings energy. Ben Chilwell, we really, really miss Ben Chilwell as a wing back on the left. Alonso is a poor downgrade. It's like we downgraded to 0 with Alonso on the left as a wing back because there is energy from Ben Chilwell. And that's why we're struggling right now to try to see if we can bring in another wing back, another maybe younger, quicker, left back. But I think also we should try playing Malangsa as a wing back and see what he can bring. He's young, he's quick, and let's see if we can get something from him. Aspi on the other side, when Reece James was playing, Aspi was always on the bench, and Aspi, playing as a wing back right now. Aspi is old, so I will not take credit off him, but I think age is also not on his side, and that is why we lack the energy right there. He is actually trying whenever he plays there. He tries very, very well, but as an older player, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, he cannot do it. And he is not an attacking fullback. So playing him as a wing back, he's not just going to deliver for you all the time. Because if he used to be like a player like, let's say, Dani Alves, when Dani Alves was in top form, Dani Alves was an attacking fullback. Roberto Carlos these are attacking fullbacks, and whenever they get the ball, their mind is, how do I get forward? Aspi is the defensive fullback that he can defend very well. He's very, very good. I think he's one of the best one-on-one defenders that I know, since he started playing for Chelsea and even in Premier League, so he does not have that edge as an attacking wing back, and to play as a wing back, you must attack because you must provide assistance from the right or from the left as a wing back. So that.
Yeah, and he got a yellow card 3 minutes in the game, and
forget Alonso. Alonso is not a defender. He's not really a defender.
Yeah, no. No.
His
positioning was awful when the balls were being played in Chelsea's defense, but yeah.
Boy, what a game it was. I mean, we were. I don't know what Chelsea's playing, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Sometimes it's the teams get better chances there before the halftime, but Chelsea, there was the same pattern. Like they played better for the first 5 minutes, create chances, 10 minutes tops, and then like stats can tells everything. Like Chelsea had no corner.
Yeah.
In the first half, they had one corner in the second half, and Lukaku had only 9 touches in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, stats don't lie in the game. Numbers are always there, to show what a team is doing. Once a game starts, you will know how a team is going to perform in the game. The way they start the game, even if they are going to give high tempo in the first 10, 15 minutes, yes, there are moments in a game where you are on top and then sometimes you drop, maybe, but you don't drop all the way deep. Chelsea will go like for the game against City here. We went all the way up and then we dropped deep and we stayed deep and we never came out of that. Chelsea also is a team that tries to hold possession of the ball. But we were not able to hold possession because City was pressing. City were moving without the ball. When they are to defend, they would do it with intensity and with intention to win the ball back. Our midfield was broken and destroyed. Kante was doing excessive work. Kovacic was playing on a yellow card, and which made him not to play at his full because prior to the goal, that De Bruyne scored, Kante was isolated in midfield. And when Kante was isolated in midfield, Kovacic was almost 10 miles away from him. If Kovacic was closer, once Kante went for the tackle and missed it. His number 6, his teammate in the midfield should have been the one coming in right away to clear that ball, because that is how they should be, But Kante was here, and Kovacic was there.
Yeah.
So
Is
that
there
gave
no,
that gave De Bruyne the chance when Kovacic realized that, oh, this guy is getting closer, and then he started sprinting, and his sprinting was not even good enough, because I think that we've been outplayed in the midfield, so they were tired, and Mr. Tuchel did not make changes. I mean, trust me, I would prefer to bring on Loftus-Cheek to bring energy in marking or trying to do something than that we are out and out completely. And he did not make changes. He didn't make changes. Kovacic finished the game. Kante finished the game. And no, I think at the point before that goal, which was scored, in what minute was that goal scored? That goal was scored in the 70th minute. I think in the 65th minute, because Kovacic was already riding on a yellow card. Yeah. So maybe if he had gone for a tackle, maybe he would have gotten another yellow card, and that would be sending off, right? Why don't you bring in... Replace him in the 65th minute. Why don't you replace him? So his substitution was another thing that for me was concerning. That he did not replace the midfield. They were outworked. Yeah. They were tired. And that is why Kante keeps getting injured when he gets injured, because they use him and they overuse him.
I'm just noticing that Lukaku was never subbed. I personally think he should have subbed. So my personal belief is that after that Lukaku thing happened, that he gave that interview and he apologized and he bought himself some slack. And I think what happened is which shouldn't have happened. Tuchel got under pressure or whatever. Tuchel oh, I'm gonna just give him a chance, and what I think personally was happening or is happening in the team is that Lukaku wants to play his own stuff.
Yep.
Which is just give him the ball where he is. And Tuchel was okay, I'm going to let him play, do his thing, but it did cost Chelsea too much now that it's evident. Lukaku is not the right player. Just looking at it, Lukaku was not even subbed that game.
Yeah, I mean, since after that interview and after it was aired, he dropped him against Liverpool. We played very, very well against Liverpool. And some people were saying, oh, he should have brought in Lukaku because maybe he could have scored in that game, because that game needed a centre forward. But that game had more movement. Yeah, that game had players moving without the ball. Because when players move without the ball, it is easy to open the defense. It is easy to get passes moving. It is easier for you to have more options for who will be receiving the next pass, or creating space for your teammate to move into. But that's not for Lukaku. Lukaku has zero movement without the ball. Now, after the game against Liverpool, what happened? He has played him in the FA Cup. He played him in the Carling Cup, or the Carabao Cup rather. And he has played him in all the Premier League games after that. What has Lukaku given? Lukaku put himself under unnecessary pressure by granting that interview, put the manager on unnecessary pressure, because maybe as the most expensive player in the club's history, he has to play. Because I think maybe, if you leave Tuchel to it, he will not play Lukaku again until the end of the season. But who is going to buy a Ferrari and not use the Ferrari and just put it in the garage? True. Who is going to buy a Lamborghini and not drive the Lamborghini and just put it in the garage? No one does that. When you buy a car, especially an expensive car, definitely you're going to use it. Either it is to show off, or whether you use it to do any job that you bought it for. Mm-hmm. And that is what Lukaku, was brought into Chelsea with the amount of money Chelsea spent on Lukaku. That was for him to do, or come in and get us goals, because we struggled. We were all last season saying, oh, Timo Werner, all the chances he missed. But I think Timo Werner makes runs, Timo Werner can run, Timo Werner can sprint, Timo Werner provides assists, even though he scored offside goals, but yet still, Timo Werner, his work rate is much more superior than that of Lukaku. So, Lukaku under pressure, Tuchel under pressure, and I'm sure there is something wrong in that dressing room as a reason of that very interview.
I personally think Lukaku have some sort of backing from someone else.
Absolutely.
Tuchel, and that's why Tuchel's like, okay,
you got to play him.
Again, like someone paid for Lukaku, and he might have backing from whoever.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not confident that Tuchel sanctions the purchasing of Lukaku. No, I'm not confident. And I believe that he did not want Lukaku. But because Lukaku, maybe, he's had history with Chelsea, right? And he was in Chelsea when Didier Drogba was there, so there was no way he's going to play ahead of Didier Drogba, right? And then he moved, and then moved again. He knows how to move. He knows how to move and how to make his way into teams, and
Nothing against Lukaku, but
nothing against him. But the thing is that the productivity that he has brought to Chelsea is zero compared to I think he's a small club player. Let's say face the fact. The clubs that he has played and banged in goals were smaller clubs, and he was not heavy in those clubs. I remember when he first came to Chelsea, of course, players grow and mature, but Lukaku did not have the way he looks now. He didn't look that way then. When he played for West Bromwich, when he played for Everton, I think he was stronger. He was quicker, but I think his pace has slowed. He has grown more. I think he has added weight,
Definitely has,
and even when he played for Manchester United, I think he was not like this, like how he looks now, and I think he scored more goals for Everton and West Brom, and maybe it's a couple for Man United, and then got more goals in Inter when he moved to Inter. Reason? Because he had to drop weight. They put him on a different diet, and he dropped weight, and it was a little bit quicker. Enjoyed his game, maybe because he played with a double partner, a double striker, another center forward, a two-man center forward. But this one is playing as a lone striker. But when you play as a lone striker, the best way to get the best out of your own game is movement without the ball, because you're a lone striker. But when you stand flat foot in the middle, calling for the pass only to your feet and not to make run, you are not a professional player.
Yeah. And you can tell by, instead of moving around, he always raises his arm like, hey, I'm here. Well, everyone knows you're there, but yeah, that's he is 28, and Thiago Silva and their players like Ronaldo who are older than him, and they're faster and more physical. I personally think he if he goes the same way like what he's playing right now, it's going to be very soon. Very soon it's going to be end of his career.
Of course, I don't think he will play beyond 33. I don't think so. At least at the highest level, like Thiago Silva is still playing. Ibrahimovic still playing at Milan at 40. Messi is still playing at PSG. They are first team players. Ronaldo, without injury, is still playing for Man United, no matter what people say. These are top players that take care of themselves physically. And when you take care of yourself physically, it helps your mental game. Because when you're physically fit, when you're physically able to compete, you are mentally switched on. Yep. There's no two ways about it. Lukaku is not physically fit.
Yeah, look at Mo Salah. I bet every defender who plays against him will always tell or say it's not easy to play against him. Because it's hard to predict where he's going to go.
Yeah.
He's so quick.
And he never gives up. He never gives up. You take the ball from him, he's like a pest. He is there. He is going to win the ball back from you. Or even if he doesn't win the ball back from you, he will force you to make a mistake that his teammate wins the ball and they'll come to you again. Yep. That's the difference. Can you say that for Lukaku? Absolutely not. And let's go on to the next one because I'm tired of... we just talked about Man City. We've not even talked about Brighton today.
Yeah. We don't want to rant, but of course, we do want to rant at the same time. because that's how it is.
I
Anyways,
mean, let's look at Man City. Yes, I'm a Chelsea fan. This is mostly talking about Chelsea as well. But Man City, I don't take any credit out of Man City because if you see, Man City is a team that works harder than every opposition team that they've played, and that is why they win games. That is just the reason. They are not there because they have world-class players, but that those world-class players, no matter what their price tag is, they work.
to do.
They
Yep.
outrun. If you look at the stats for their game, check the stats for that game there, you will see that Man City, they run better, they run more, had more ball possession, right? Had more possession of the ball. And one of the ways to have more possession on the ball is that you create options to be able to retain possession. If players are standing still, they will not be able to create those options for a pass to be received, for a pass to be given, for De Bruyne to make that run into the middle to receive that ball and shake off the marker, the marking from N'Golo Kante, and then run solely to the goal, and then in front of three players still was able to take a shot. That is the work.
Yep.
How many Chelsea players do that? Nope.
Yeah, I mean Chelsea was better versus Liverpool, but this game, nothing. Yeah, De Bruyne, everyone knows he's in he never gets he's in top shape. He understands the game better than anyone else. He's one of the best central midfielder, and yeah, he's the captain of their team, and he knows how to be at the right time, play at the right place at the right time.
Yep.
And
Look at that stats. Man City committed more fouls.
yeah,
Sometimes when a team commits more fouls, it's because they are working hard. They committed 11 fouls on Chelsea.
but zero yellow cards.
But zero yellow
That means
cards.
they're pushing hard.
They're pushing
pressing,
hard,
yeah.
pressing hard, making you uncomfortable, pushing you and pushing you. 9 corners against 1. Shots on target 6. Overall number of shots 11 shots. Possession 56% of possession. That's a team that is working hard. So we don't just have to hear and to be here and talk only about Chelsea and their poor play. But if you look at Man City, what makes them stand out in every single game they play is that they work really, really hard, very hard, harder than their opposition. And that is the only way they come out. The team that runs more, and then you have world-class players that run more, that push more, why wouldn't you win a game?
Yeah,
Why wouldn't you win a game?
Yeah, it's not just the first team, even the subs who come in.
Of course, they maintain the status quo because the player that is coming out to rest, not because he's playing bad.
Yeah.
Not because he's playing awful. It's just that he's coming out to rest, or that there is a change in tactics, which means the player coming in is the one best suited for the tactics change. It's not like in Chelsea that, for example, that Man City game, every substitution that was made in that game was pretty much made based on what? The players were not performing.
Yeah,
But it's funny that Lukaku was not yet substituted. And guess what? Since Lukaku came back into the team, he has played 90 minutes in all of them, if I'm not mistaken, except if there was a game that I'm missing. But I can remember that. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong and leave the comments down in the comment section. But I think Lukaku has played 90 minutes in all. And the reason is because he's trying to impress the Chelsea fans because he destroyed the team because the Chelsea fans trusted him for him to come back to the team. And maybe Tuchel thinks that this guy is not good enough as well to give him a chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, injured, COVID, back, but you gave that rubbish interview, shooting yourself on the foot. Guess what he did? Finally, he put unnecessary pressure on himself. Yeah. If he had not given that interview, I am very, very sure that whenever he gets his chance, he will be able to play, score goals freely without pressure of any kind. But given that interview, he heaped an enormous amount of pressure on himself.
The moment those words came out of his mouth, he was done. Like he should have given it another chance. I think personally, but yeah, to justify money sometimes, or who knows what's going on inside and in the dressing room.
Look at the average, the average performance of the Chelsea team. None of them reached 6. Out of 10, they were all 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. All the substitutes were of no impact. Lukaku's average 90 minutes was 4.23. 4.23. That is absolute failure. Absolute failure. Absolute failure. They make the good players look very bad. They make the good players. Man City, 8. De Bruyne was man of the match, 8.4. All the rest, 7, 7, 7, 7. Their subs were 6 point.
Yeah, I remember Gundogan coming in and he was creating chances, and not the same for Chelsea. But yeah, City outperformed and well played. I mean, these kind of games, not just Chelsea fans like football, viewers or fans who love football, they want to watch a game that is entertaining. But this game was not entertaining.
It was not entertaining. It was a one-sided game. Yep. You remember, the game was like, when kids and adults play football, or play any form of sports, kids on one side and their parents on the other side. And those kids are not teenagers who know how to play and their parents don't know how to play. It's like their parents are all like in the class of Zidane and Thierry Henry and all and they're playing these children from the from secondary school that are just learning how to play, and you're just like playing keep away. Yeah. Keep away. That was what Man City was doing. Chelsea, keep away.
Yeah,
they moved the ball, moved. Oh.
Yeah, I mean we'll talk about Brighton's game that happened today, but still, like in today's game, they were giving Chelsea a hard time, even though City, I mean, makes sense. They have money and good players, but Brighton. So definitely Chelsea needs to fix things. Although they have lost the chance, they had a great chance to come back. But yeah, even still, fans do want to watch good games. So they need to fix the problems and play better football. That's what we deserve as football viewers or fans.
Absolutely, absolutely. What do you think of the weekend games apart from Chelsea and Man City's games? I mean, there were surprises there. There were surprises there. What do you think of? Yeah, there were a lot of surprises.
Yeah, let me just.
I enjoyed the weekend games, honestly.
The next game was I think the same time.
Watford and Newcastle. Their game was a very good one. That game was actually very interesting. It was very interesting. It was a lot of back and forth. Newcastle scored early, somewhere after, I think, after halftime, San Maximin. He was very good, but Watford, did they give up? Absolutely not. They were fighting. It's like no one wants to be relegated in the Premier League, and Watford were like, once you go down into the bottom 3, there's an extra pressure on you. And Watford, if they had lost that game, they would have switched places with Newcastle. And that was what they were not willing to take. Yeah. And they fought very, very hard. I think I enjoyed Newcastle versus Watford compared to Chelsea's game with Man City. it was a much more better game.
Yeah.
It was full of energy. It was full of excitement. You know, and again, the Newcastle fans are fantastic fans. Once you play in that St James Park, it is a very it's an electrifying atmosphere to play football in. You know, and they they really gave everything. Unfortunately, Newcastle, did not perform. They didn't give their fans what they wanted, But yes, it was a very good game of football. What's his name? Joao, the Brazilian kid. Or is he Brazilian? Joao Pedro. Yeah, he scored a very wonderful late goal in the. When did he score? I think he scored in the 87th minute, and that
Yep.
that was fantastic. That was fantastic goal that he scored for Newcastle. Sorry, for Watford. So I think Watford, their best striker at the moment, Emmanuel Dennis, was substituted. I don't know whether he was injured. He was not having a really good game. I think Newcastle tied him down, for almost before he was substituted. I didn't see much from him, but as well, Newcastle's got the whole money.
Yeah.
Their
I
new
mean,
signings played,
yeah.
but I don't think it was they would be able to give the best out of. I don't know how many times that they've trained before that game with the team. They bought Chris Wood and they bought Kieran Trippier from Atletico Madrid. Trippier used to play for Tottenham Hotspur, but I don't know if Newcastle will survive this very relegation battle, although it is still too early to conclude. Burnley is just rooted there at the bottom of the whole thing, so. But I think it's getting more excited to watch the bottom three teams fight for relegation than watching the top four team play for the title.
Yeah, that
Because
is
Man
true.
City has actually taken the
Well,
whole
yeah,
thing
there is
away,
no fun there
and there's
anymore.
no more fun at the top of the table. So for me right now, the games that I look forward to are from mid-table downwards, because that's where the fight for relegation is. Look at the game against West Ham against Leeds United. What do you say about that game? West Ham Leeds United was,
That was a very fast-paced
oh
game.
my
I mean, those
word.
are the kind of games that you really deserve to watch as a football fan or football viewer, because it's fast and the kind of goals. It's entertaining and unpredictable at the same time.
Yep, it was a very good game. It was a very good game. I mean, Jack Harrison scoring a hat trick for Leeds United. He was finishing like a Ronaldo or a Messi. He scored very great goals for Leeds United. I was really surprised that West Ham did not get anything out of this game, because West Ham have been in very good form, for
With
for
Moyes.
the season, and but yeah, I was really surprised. Jared Bowen has been in terrific form. He's been very good, and he scored for them. Antonio didn't score. Because I was thinking that, yeah, he would get me some goals. He was my fantasy team, but I think
What do
I'm
you think
not.
about the hat trick that Jack scored?
Yeah,
I mean, all of
you
them
know, you
goals
know
were
what,
stunning.
one thing about Leeds United. Leeds United seem to be an unpredictable team. For me, I expected them to lose against West Ham because of the form in which West Ham has been throughout the season.
Yeah.
But here and low, that's the beauty of the Premier League.
You get
That
shockers.
yeah, you get shockers. I remember the season that Man City won the league, but they lost to Norwich that season. Not this season. I think the season before Norwich went to relegation, they lost to Man. They lost to they lost to they beat Man City the season they went relegation, and that was like a big shocker you know. But that's the beauty of the Premier League.
Yeah.
And Leeds United, they're unpredictable. You think they're going to win every game because they never change the way they play. They should learn Chelsea
Yeah.
some energy,
Yeah.
please. They play
Yeah, and
with
they were
energy.
playing away, not
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, they played
Scoring a
in
hat
the
trick
London
away.
Stadium.
It's
It's
not
not
easy.
and then you do that against West Ham
Yeah.
because West Ham, they are quick, they are physically strong, and they have very, very good players, you know. And you know one thing about Leeds, whether they are winning games or they are losing games, they play the same way. Their
Yeah.
coach does not care. Bielsa does not care. He's losing or winning, you must be going. He goes with intensity, speed, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They keep going and keep going. That's how they were.
Yeah.
I saw the game, you know, and that was how, you know, Jack Harrison was able to get the goals. He was always right there. And if you see, Harrison played, you know, they play 4-1-4-1.
Yeah.
You know, and that tells you that yes, you're playing with a lone striker. Actually, the player that played in the forward position is not a proper centre forward. Daniel James, the ex-Man United player, you know, but Harrison was always in the box.
Yeah.
That's one thing I like about
Yeah. He was always there.
Bielsa. Players must be where they need to be
Yeah.
at the time they need to be there, especially in the attacking positions.
Yep.
When players don't arrive in the box, there is no way you're going to get a goal. When you're playing with a false number 9 or one man forward and there are no other players coming into the box, you are not going to get a goal because that one man forward will be outnumbered all the time.
True.
But guess what? You saw Harrison's goal. Almost one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
Almost, yeah. Every time,
Almost.
yeah.
He was one-on-one with the
And
goalkeeper.
his finish was always good.
Top
Yeah.
notch. Top notch. So,
Yeah. I was just noticing they were playing. They had a game against Leeds United FA Cup on January the 9th, and they lost. Leeds United lost that game. Maybe they took the revenge or something like that.
yeah, where is the best place to take a revenge? FA Cup, you know that you are not going to win the FA Cup as long as top clubs are still in the FA Cup. I mean, your chances of winning the FA Cup is very slim. But, you know, you've lost to them in the FA Cup. What else do you need to do? Come back, analyze the game that you lost to them in the FA Cup. And guess what? Take it over. Smash them.
Yeah. No, West Ham United this season, they have not just like they didn't just shock, but they're giving good football like to watch.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
their set pieces, taking corners. It seems like even though they lost this game, but both of their goals were good and entertaining to watch.
Yeah, West Ham is becoming an entertaining, energetic team. That is one thing I like about them.
And their players are fit and fast.
They should. West Ham fans, I mean, without any offense, can we switch Lukaku with Antonio, please? I would really, really appreciate that, you know, because Antonio is fit. If he's fit, he gives you 110% on the field. He's strong, you know. They have Declan Rice. They have, what's his name, Lanzini, Fornals. You know, Bowen is like a workaholic. He doesn't get tired. He keeps going back and forth, back and forth. I mean, and these are not overpriced players. In Chelsea, you have a lot of overpriced players. Lukaku is not worth what he is, what he was purchased for, you know. Oh my.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It
man.
hurts, but I know, but
Anyway, man. They were great games. Oof. Norwich against Everton. Everton nailed the coffin on Mr. Benitez. Nailed the coffin on him.
That was big news of the week too. Like they sacked Benitez after this game. I didn't watch the game, but you want to talk
I watched the
about
game. I watched the game. Everton were below par. They were making a lot of mistakes. they were making mistakes in decisive areas on the pitch.
Even though
They've,
Everton has 60%
yeah, you may
possession.
have 60% possession. Sometimes Chelsea have possessions when they play rubbish too, because it's just passive possession, not progressive possession. You pass sideways, and then you go back. Possession, how is possession counted? Possession is counted when your teammate gets your ball. The longer you retain the ball, that's just ball possession. But what do you make out of the ball possession? Nothing. And that's the same for Everton. You must score goals out of ball possession. And that was not the case for Everton. You know, they had ball possessions, played sideways, backwards, sideways, backwards, and then played into the hands of Norwich, you know, and the game, it's counted by goals. Your 3 points is counted by how many goals you scored, not by how many, you know, how many percentage of possession you've got, you know. If it was counted by possession, then Chelsea would be second, and then they would be closer to Man City by possession. But no, they really had no way. I mean, they scored an own goal, and before you know it, they went to sleep again, couldn't clear the ball between two defenders. Adam Ida scored another one, making it 2-0 at first half. And that is Everton playing against the bottom team. That seems as if there is hope for Norwich City. It seems there is hope for them. That's why I'm telling you, it's becoming very, very interesting, the bottom part of the table.
Yeah, it is.
It is very, very interesting.
This game is also Everton, number 16. I remember, I think I watched the highlights. The goal was impressive from Everton. I think it was
it was a backflip from a volley, you know, from Richarlison. I mean, Richarlison is a very good, he's a proper footballer. He works very, very hard. I think I wish Chelsea should trade some of their passive players. Because Chelsea players some of them don't really take risk. You know, they should sell some of those guys and buy players that can take risk. I mean, sometimes we want to buy all the world-class players, you know, but yes, world-class without being able to take risk like Man City, without being able to, you know, work hard like Man City players, you are useless for me. And that's my thoughts. You know, Richarlison works very, very hard. He gets angry. It's like that typical Brazilian that does not want to lose. No matter the team he's playing for, he's fighting and working hard. And those are the things that the fans want, at least to see effort on the team. And that is why, you know, unfortunately, you know, Rafa Benitez was sacked. But yeah, the coaches that have been there before him as well have had issues, you know. Ancelotti had the privilege to go to Real Madrid. He did not even think twice. He just like, yeah, I'm out here. And then he left. Because Rafa said, it's when you get into the club, you know what's going on in the club. When you stay outside and you see what's going on, and when you see you only see the end product of what's going on inside. And the end product is when the players step on the pitch to play. You know, but all the other things, you know, that goes inside the club, you do not really see until you get into the club,
and
you know,
you start looking at the ugly side of it.
Exactly. But yeah, Norwich deserve to win because they took their chances, you know, and it's all about you taking your chances, you know, to be able to, you know, to win your games, you know. So yeah.
Yep, this game, Aston Villa versus
that was I mean, I think that was the match of the weekend.
Yeah.
Villa against Manchester United.
Villa
against Man United is the match of the weekend.
Good football.
Was very good football. Was very good football. Man United thought they had it 2-0 up. And they were cruise control. But guess what? Aston Villa said, not on my watch. You know, also if you look at the type of player that was coaching them, Steven Gerrard was one of the best players in the world at the time that he was playing. And I'm sure he's transferring his style of play, that intensity, that Liverpool style of intensity, not giving up until the last whistle. That is the type of player Gerrard was. And Man United, he brought that to United. It's like, no way. No way. And then the little magician came on as well. Provided an assist, scored a goal. How else can you make your debut? That's the best debut so far this season. They made mistakes. Aston Villa made mistakes. Morgan Sanson, when he gave away the ball, blindly gave a pass, and then what's his name? Bruno Fernandes scored. That was a very, very good goal from Bruno. That was a very good goal from Bruno. But Aston Villa didn't give up, even though that their goalkeeper committed a blunder at the beginning. When just 6 minutes into the game.
That's when they conceded a goal.
Oh yeah, that was when they conceded. 6 minutes into the game, he conceded a goal, right? He was like it's like using a basket to gather water.
Oh, I remember now. I did watch the highlights. Yeah, he was trying to save
He caught the ball. I don't know. I think he'd lost concentration. The moment he lost concentration, the ball dropped and went under him. Yeah. And because I think he gathered well, but I think just 1 second of losing concentration, he dropped it. And he was like, he tried to fake and tell the ref that someone was in his view, but no, you already had the ball, So, but they still were able to come back, That is also the mental strength of the team. It shows that they had mental strength, that you go down 2-0 and you know that if you get one, you're probably going to get another, And for me, that's why I say that 2-0 is the most deceitful scoreline in football. Because you think you're 2-0 up. And the opposition gets one. It's likely that they will get two and they will tie the game. And that's what happened. Coutinho came in, boom, crossed, gave the ball to, and not just that Coutinho did the magic too, but he had players that were working hard, players that were really working hard. Jacob Ramsey was very good, very, very good. He was on top of his game. Even their defender, their captain, who provided the pass that led to the assist. Tyrone Mings, he dribbled through two Man United players, led the ball away to Ramsey. Ramsey provided an assist, and then scored. So that was very, very good. Jacob Ramsey and Coutinho provided their 2 goals. Coutinho gave Ramsey the assist to score. Ramsey gave Coutinho the ball to score again. So that was a very, very good play from Aston Villa. I was actually looking forward to that game because I knew that it was going to be a blockbuster of a game, and it did not disappoint. It did not at all disappoint.
I mean, Manchester dominated, and then coming back, it's not easy.
No way.
Especially 2-0, yeah.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work.
Man United are a little bit in a shambles right now. Either they don't know, the system that suits the players, because I think you have to work with the quality of players you have, or you have to build your team around the players that you have. You have to, the 11 that you're bringing out, or maybe your formation, your tactics should, you should adjust your tactics to the quality and level of the players. I know that we coaches, I say we coaches because I'm a professional coach as well. We coaches sometimes want to play just that thing that is in our head without thinking about the players. But as well, I realize that sometimes you have to play to this. Not sometimes, every time you have to play to the strength of your team. You have to play to the strength of your team so that your team can be able to reach their full potential, no matter what twists and turns and tactics you have or information, you have to play to the strength of that team. And when you do not play to the strength of your team, it's confusing for the players because maybe the position you're putting them to play, they might try because they are professionals, but as well, they might not be comfortable with it. So you have to play players that are willing and are ready to play in to their full strength. You know, Man United tried it, but I think they've been making a lot of adjustments. You know, in Man United, you know what they were playing from 4-2-2-2. You know, and they played 4-3-3 this time around, and maybe the next game he might switch back again to 4-2-2-2. You know, which is like a 4-4-2. You know, but I don't know if Man United has, you know, the players that can press and play the way Ralf Rangnick wants to play. But as well, I think he has to play to the strength of that team until the end of the season, where he will have a good preseason, because it's during preseason that you're able to instill the style of play you want in the team. You use friendly games to work on those things. You use your strength and conditioning sessions to prepare the players, you know, for the task ahead. But when you come into the middle of the season, it becomes a little bit difficult to switch right away and make the players play what exactly you want them to play. And I think that was why Tuchel was successful with Chelsea last season. When he came into the middle of the season, he played the team to the strength of the team and was able to get the results that he got, and also was able to win the Champions League. Now, he has started the season all from the beginning, right? Started the season with the team, and it's as if some things are shaky. Guys, I don't even know why I keep going back to Chelsea, but
Yeah, so Victor, no, I was going to mention this. So look at the number 4, 5, 6, 7. Since we were talking about Manchester United, I was gonna. Do you think like fourth position looks really interesting? It's very close. Manchester United is how much? 4 points, or 5 points. But do you think Manchester United can make it to number 4 since they have Ronaldo? And I mean, they're not playing impressive football as of right now. Like they're either losing or tying, or did they win any game in the last 3 games? I think they have won 1 game. But do you think they can make it to the number 4?
Honestly, I don't think Man United will make top 4, and the reason why I'm saying that is that if you look at the 2 teams above them, Tottenham Hotspur and Arsenal, look at the number of games that Tottenham has now played.
Yep, they're 2 less than
18 players, 18 games actually. They have 5 outstanding games compared to what Chelsea has played 23 games. Spurs have played 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. If Spurs win these 5 games, guess what? Where they will be? They will be third.
with Liverpool.
They will be third on the table.
Yeah, third. Sorry, for 43. Yeah.
Yes. Arsenal have 2 outstanding games. So they've also played actually 3 compared to Chelsea, because Chelsea is now the only team in the Premier League that has played the most games, right? So if you look at that, United 20, so 9 points more, they will end up below Chelsea. Am I right? Yes, they will end up below Chelsea. So they're not going to make it to top 4. I think the only team that has the option and the opportunity to make top 4 there is Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
I think they are the only 2 teams. You know,
United is hard, yes.
Yes, and I think West Ham will drop out of top 4. They are still in the Europa League. So when all these games start coming back again, you know, in February, you know, it becomes a little bit hard, you know, because players will have to play 2 times every week. You play midweek, and then you play weekend, you play midweek. Yeah, and if you're still in the FA Cup, you still have to play the FA Cup, you still have to play the league, and then you still have to play in Europe. So it makes it all a little bit hard. Unfortunately for Man United, I don't think Man United will be I don't think they will make top four. I don't see them making top four. Yeah, especially if they continue playing the way they are playing.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, Ronaldo hasn't played for like 3 games now.
Yeah, I mean Ronaldo is not the only problem there. They have without Ronaldo playing yesterday's game, you should be able to see that the players that were on the bench for Man United, you know, why couldn't they come in and make a difference? You know, they couldn't come in and make a difference. So, and you're wondering what is going on in the Man United team here. All right. So look, on the bench they had Mata, they had Lingard, they had Sancho, they have Van de Beek. You know, sometimes you still forget that Mata is a Man United player. Like, wow, what is he still doing there?
Yeah.
What is Mata still doing in Man United? I think he should be gone. Go play football somewhere else, except he's trying to get a coaching role in Man United. Sancho has not delivered since he came to Man United. Van de Beek has always struggled for playing time, you know, in Man United, you know, and Lingard as well. I mean, again, why is Lingard on the bench and Elanga, the youth team from the academy or the youth player from the academy, you know, was playing in that game? He played very, very well in that game. He was very, very good. He played really well in that game. But how is he playing ahead of Sancho, ahead of Lingard in that particular game? Reason? I have no idea. It tells you that something is also wrong in Manchester United and not only in Chelsea.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Looks like it. Like spending money still than getting results.
Oh yeah, I think it's all about time for clubs to realize that spending
Money is not the.
millions on players don't get you anything.
Yeah, especially if you look at the top bottom 10 teams, they're playing better teams
They're playing better
with less
football.
players,
I
with
mean,
less
it,
expensive players.
it seems it's only in Manchester City that you spend millions and you still have to play good football. Because guess what? If you don't perform, they throw you out and they bring another replacement right away. Because Pep Guardiola is the boss. He's the manager. He's not like just the head coach. He is the manager. He manages transfers, who comes in and who goes out. In Manchester United, that's not the same. In Chelsea, that's not the same. In Tottenham, that's not the same. In Arsenal, I don't think that's the same. So when managers are also not able to manage who comes into the club, because that is when a manager will sign a player that he believes can play for him. But when the club makes the signing, some of the players in Chelsea were signed by the club, not by the manager who was in Chelsea at the time they came in. Manchester United, the same. Arsenal, the same. Tottenham Hotspur, the same. So it is only in Man City that the manager there, Pep Guardiola, has full charge. He calls the shots on everything, especially in player transfers.
I think Liverpool has the same. Like
Yeah, exactly. Forgetting to mention Liverpool. But Liverpool does not sign, they do not really waste money in signing players. If you check, the only top millions, I mean, the players that they've spent more money on were Alisson, their goalkeeper, and Van Dijk.
right, yeah.
If you check the rest, they did not spend that much money on them. They just bought them low cost, low price compared to Chelsea. Chelsea bought how much they bought Pulisic? I can't remember. Millions of dollars or pounds. Of course,
The famous
your friend Lukaku. And then Timo Werner, and then Kai Havertz, and then who else? Even Kepa, the world's most expensive goalkeeper.
Yeah, they were mentioning it. I think it accumulatively makes about like 350 plus million pounds
That
on the bench.
yeah. So that tells you.
Yeah. Anyways, we left with the last game of the week, and this is Liverpool's game. I think it was a one-sided game. I remember watching the highlights, and Yeah, I am looking at the stats. It tells everything that Liverpool dominated the game.
Liverpool always dominates. Liverpool are a business football team. They don't have time to waste, um, especially if you're not giving them anything to fight for. You know, they had 27 shots, 13 on goal.
Yeah,
Wow.
like and look at the saves. Like 10 saves from Brighton.
And
Brentford.
guess what? Their two talismans are not there. Their two talismen are not there. Mo Salah and
Yeah, they were not playing.
Mane.
Yeah,
They
they were
are
both
out
not playing. Imagine if
representing
they were
Egypt
there.
and Senegal at the African Cup of Nations, and yet still, Minamino, Roberto Firmino, they're getting their game time now, because the guys that keep them on the bench are away, you know. But that tells you the type of team Liverpool is. I think Liverpool is going to challenge. They'll still challenge for the title because they still have one game, and I think they'll still have to play Man City again this season, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be it's now a two-horse race, and if Liverpool fail in any way, maybe if they lose any
Yeah,
game
any
or
game,
if they lose
any
one
big game.
game or tie two games from now to the end of the season, we should all forget about title race because Man City will win it. There is no two ways about it. Liverpool losing a game or drawing two games, forget it.
So
Man
yeah,
City, it's over.
yeah.
They should
Man
focus
City,
on
I don't think
Champions League.
they're gonna lose any game or
That don't seem like
no.
it. And that's one good thing about Man City. Once they did not start the season very well though. They
Right.
did not start the season very
Yeah.
well. If you look at when the season started, they were down the table. But when they started winning games, 12 games in a row.
Yeah. That's the thing.
12
Yeah,
games in a row.
consistency. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think what happened with time is that they became better team communication, fitness, everything.
yeah, they
It
really
all
do a
went
good
up.
job. Honestly, I don't know what. I expected more from Chelsea. I expected a lot from Chelsea. A lot. I expected a lot. Since Tuchel started the season, had his preseason with the team, it was not under COVID or all the stuff. I expected the team to be buzzing with energy, to be buzzing with, firepower, players scoring goals, but we are still finding it difficult to score goals. Players, our top scorer is our midfielder, Missing Mount. We're not scoring goals anymore. Before we scored more goals than Man City when Man City was still maybe seventh or eighth. Uh, but now our goals have dried up completely, and Man City have almost doubled their account. They have 41 goals plus 41 goals. That's the difference. They've scored plus 41 goals. They've
Yeah.
conceded little. They are the least. They are the most stingy team in the league with giving out goals. They've scored 54 goals in all and conceded only 13. 54 goals and conceding only 13. Liverpool have scored 55 goals and conceded 18. Chelsea have scored 46 goals and conceded 18. West Ham has scored 41 goals and conceded 30. Arsenal 33 goals, conceded 25. Tottenham Hotspur has scored 23 goals and conceded 20. Man United 32 goals and conceded 29. This is the top five teams in the league. So Man City is setting examples. There was a time I was looking, they scored like 17 goals in 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
And the
True.
game is all about goals. No matter what you play,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you don't score goals, what do you think? What do we think the fans go
Spend
to?
money for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what do we spend money for? We
Yeah.
spend
Every
money to
time.
watch people score goals.
Yeah.
It's the entertainment in the game there.
True. Well, that's a good segue into the next game that Chelsea played today, Brighton versus Chelsea. Although we have our concerns, but let's talk about it again. And yeah, there was also a very well. It wasn't one-sided, but still Chelsea disappointed. Lukaku not playing up to his. I don't know. If I would say up to his potential, because that's what his potential is. But yeah, any thoughts on today's game?
If I would say the Man City game was terrible, this was a disaster. The Brighton game was a disaster. Disaster. 3 weeks ago, we tied with Brighton. We were winning 1-0, but we couldn't get over to the line, couldn't cross the finishing line. We were dragging, we were lethargic, we were slow. Energy level was completely down, and Brighton scored. The same thing happened today. We scored first. They didn't even think. I don't know if the team wanted to score, if they really wanted to score a goal today. Because even when they scored, you saw there was no celebration. It means that I think there's fire on the mountain there. There's division in the team. There is no unity in the team. There's a lot of problem in the dressing room. Maybe they don't think that Ziyech should be on the field. Maybe they don't think that Ziyech should be playing. Maybe they think some other teammates should be playing. But maybe as well that the coach has more faith in Ziyech, and that's why he played him. But today's game against Brighton, they were terrible. They were absolutely pathetic. They were flat-footed. That is one of the worst things I want to see a player be on the field. Being flat-footed. Flat-footed, you just walking and watching. You don't want to run. Every pass you want it to be on your feet. That's Lukaku. And you rub shoulders with the center backs and make life easy for the center backs.
Does he even train? Like, what does he do in the training session? Like, does he just do the stand? Like, I can understand. Like, these players are trained to have the stamina to run for 90 minutes, sometimes 120 minutes. But like, I don't understand that. Why doesn't he want? Like, I think that's what his style is, and that's what he was complaining about. But now he should realize that it's not working, and it should be stopped.
I think there's something has to change. We've played 7 games in all competitions, and out of 12 points in the league games that we've played, we've only had 3 points taken from possible 12. And when you have 3 points taken from just possible 12, you just have widened the gap, from the teams that are ahead of you. You've dropped, and you actually making the gap between the teams that are below you closer and shorter and smaller. And that is the problem with Chelsea. I wouldn't say that we don't have what it takes to win the game tonight. We have a better squad. We have more money. We all the players that are in Chelsea, the whole Chelsea team can buy the whole Brighton team, like double the price and of that. But the players were not given enough. They were not really working hard. They were not really running. They were not really pushing. They were not creating options. Brighton played like Man City, pressing high and hard collectively as well, forcing us to make mistakes, forcing us to always go back. Players in the attacking position, we are not making runs or shaking off marker. Sometimes you have to drop a little bit, get a pass, move, you drop. When you drop into the middle to get a pass, there are 2 things that is going to happen. There are 2 things that will happen. It's either the defender follows you and creates an option behind whereby your other teammate on the right or on the left will run into that and the player can get the ball, or that he does not follow you, you receive and turn and attack. Yeah. But that's not for Lukaku. Lukaku stands still in between the 2 huge center backs of Brighton and calls for the ball.
Pushing them,
and calls for the ball. Yeah. Or he leans on them, tries to hold the ball there, and then what do we do? What do we gain from that? I mean, and where he does it, it's not as if it's in dangerous positions or in the final third. Whenever he does that, he's already out of his position. There were no crosses from the right or from the left. There were no crosses
Yeah,
at
there were no
all.
crosses for sure.
Nothing at all.
As if he
Nothing.
wanted the straight passes. Like, well, it's hard. These passes, what kind of pass? The passes he wants to be passed on are so hard because
If you want
it's in
area
top of
balls,
your head.
yeah, if you want area balls or long range passes, you have to make the move. You have to make a run, go into space, receive the ball, then run to the ball, control, and then take on the player one-on-one. You can't be rubbing shoulder if I'm leaning on you
I'm
and
telling you
expect
where I
and
am,
expect and expect my midfielder to play the ball to you. No, even Jorginho today, that sometimes we play those long range passes, he did not play it because there were no movement.
Yeah.
Odoi did not move. Lukaku did not move. Ziyech did not move.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Webster, the player who scored amazing goal, at one point of the game, he outran 3 players.
Of
Chelsea.
course.
And Lukaku, we should be expecting that kind of runs
Yes.
from him versus Webster is in the defense.
Yeah, Lukaku is so. I mean, it's very unfortunate that we have to keep calling and mentioning his name, right?
Yeah.
But that's basically because of what he gives on the field, because of what he is not giving. It's expected that Lukaku should be intimidating all the centre backs that he play against. Intimidate them, outrun them, because that is what is expected. If you're going to lean on them, if you're going to, go 50-50 on them, you should be able to outpower them, but not like that. I mean, when I look at Lukaku and try to remember Didier Drogba was phenomenal. He attacks. Didier Drogba, if you check, when he makes runs, even in crosses, he makes runs towards the front post. Lukaku goes to the second post and he's waving. And you have almost 2 meters centre backs from Brighton that we are good in reading the ball and winning every area contest and still scoring us from a set piece. And Lukaku does not do anything. He's running, his movement inside the 18-yard box is awful, especially about crosses. I know that our players should be putting in crosses from the wings, but which they did not do very well.
One time, even instead of crossing, I don't remember the name who the player was, but he took.
That was Aspie. Aspie, instead of just crossing the ball, he cut back, and made the back pass. Now, Ziyech, same thing, plays on the right, left footer. We expect him to be able to chip in some long ranges to Lukaku. No pass, nothing. Why? Yes, we say Ziyech does not make passes that should be made.
He didn't get the ball possession too.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see him having ball.
But also the player that he would want to pass the ball to is standing side to side with a defender and wants the ball. There was a pass he made to Lukaku, right? I mean, Lukaku wanted it out to his feet.
Yeah, he doesn't want to move.
But I think
it's harder for other players to pass. That's for sure.
Exactly. Because again, it's just movement without the ball. The front 3 today that played there, Hudson Odoi and Ziyech. Odoi had a better game today, not too much. He had a better game today, but again, Ziyech's performance was 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. Kovacic, 4 out of 10. Kovacic came in. Rudiger, 5. Kante, 5. Aspie, 5. Every one of them, 5. Alonso, 4. Hudson Odoi, 3 out of 10. Jorginho, 3 out of 10. Lukaku is the poorest,
really?
3.4. And then he's like, these are stats. These stats do not lie. They reflect players' performance. Player performance on the pitch.
Yeah.
Look at this thing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It's even worse than City's game.
It's worse than City's game.
Yeah.
That's what I told you, that Brighton played like City. They pressed, they worked hard,
I think
they
it,
ran,
yeah.
they outnumbered us. Did you watch the game with me here? When a Chelsea player has the ball in the midfield, he'll be surrounded by 4 Brighton players. What happens? He puts the ball out of play, or they win it from him, and then they attack us.
Yeah.
When Chelsea has the ball, they do the same. When they have the ball,
Yeah.
we allow them to stroll past by. You were talking about Webster when he dribbled past by into the 18-yard box.
Into the, yeah.
If he had taken a shot, I
would have,
bet
yeah.
you he would score. But he made a cross.
Yeah, basically he was threatening everyone. And Chelsea, even though Chelsea had more
Oh,
possession
my.
in the last 20 minutes,
Forget about the
for some
possession,
reason
man.
Brighton was giving away the possession, but still Chelsea, instead
Oh,
of creating
no.
chances, it got better after Lukaku went away because we started looking some.
We started seeing more
And it
movements.
was more enjoyable to watch, and they were like having a little bit of pressure on Brighton. But yeah, I don't know what's going on in Tuchel's mind that he's giving too much.
I think
away.
he's trying to give Lukaku a point to prove, because Lukaku mentioned that he was not getting playing time.
But
Right.
yeah, it cost Chelsea everything.
Yeah, and he cost a lot of money to
No, just like it could have cost a title now.
Yeah, he has cost. I think Lukaku has single-handedly cost us the title.
Yeah.
And let me not be too harsh on him, but I think the whole team has been horrible. So I don't know if it's only a Lukaku problem. Also, the another problem there is that there's some issues off the field, contract issues for some of the players. Some of the players, Rudiger has not signed a new contract with Chelsea, and when players that when they're in the last 6 months of their contract, and they've not signed new contract, it also affects the player's stability.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you are
don't know where
you know,
you're gonna
you
go.
don't know where you're going to go. You don't know if you're going to stay here for next season, or if you're going to go to, like, Real Madrid wants Rudiger, Bayern Munich one team, and maybe I think PSG as well. But also not Rudiger only. Aspilicueta is maybe not staying in Chelsea next season. I think he may be going to Barcelona. Christensen has not also signed new contract, and his contract, I think, ends this summer. So we have 3 senior players in the defense. You know, in our back 4 or back 3,
Yeah.
Christensen, Rudiger, and Spilicueta. These are 3 senior players. Their contract is running out, and they've not been offered new contract. So that brings also destabilization in the player's mind. Psychologically affects them. What am I doing? Am I just striving here for what's the next plan? What's the next line of action? What's my future like? For me, I think Aspilicueta should be let go. He's served the club enough and well, and he's been a very, very diligent, one of the best defenders that Chelsea have had in the past couple of years. You know, I think after John Terry, I will rate him the next in terms of longevity, and also in terms of commitment, you know, and level. He has kept his commitment level from the day he signed the club even until today. So he keeps working hard. He's a pure and true professional. Rudiger, I think we should keep him because of the energy that he has added to his game since Tuchel came in. I don't know if he will be the same Rudiger if he goes to Madrid, because also with Silva playing alongside in defense, that Silva is a smart, cool-headed, experienced centre-back, and Rudiger is the one that goes hard and everything. So I think in every team you must have a crazy centre-back and a cool-headed centre-back to be able to, they will work hard, together. Alonso, I think we should buy another left-back, at least this January, that should be able to play in the place of Alonso. I don't think Alonso has got it anymore. So maybe he should as well be gone. So, but I think these Christensen, Christensen, I think he should be let go. He's not been consistent for me, and I think he's not really strong for me personally. I love physically strong center backs. Center backs that can bully defenders. Christensen is a smart player, but physically, his physiology, I don't really know, because if I look at all the center backs in the whole of England, and for the teams that are very, very on top of their game, Liverpool, Manchester City, even in West Ham, their center backs, even in Tottenham Hotspur, even in Arsenal, their center backs are strong and they look physically, when you look at their physiology, you know that they are strong, I want that for Chelsea. When John Terry left, when Ricardo Cavallo left, when Alex left, who else were these? We had very good center backs, strong center backs, terrifying center backs.
That's the word, intimidating.
Yeah, you have to be intimidating. Yeah, you have to be intimidating. Besides Rudiger, there's no other person.
No other person, yeah.
I mean, Silva has just had 1 year extension of his contract, but he will not be there forever.
He's not the kind of
no, he is like, even the young kid, Lamptey from Brighton, was outpowering Alonso today with pace. Yeah. Making him commit fouls. When Ashley Cole played left back for us, even Marcel Del Honor, which was not the best, and even what's he called again? Wayne Bridge, when these guys played, they I think as defenders, they played better. I know Alonso is an attacking fullback, but I think the first job of a defender, if a fullback or wingback, your first job is to defend the ball. Then you look to attack.
Yeah.
But Alonso cannot defend. In no way can he defend. He cannot defend at all. And that is Alonso is the weakest pathway to.
And he's tried to stop balls coming in defense, like in a way that it could have gone into the goal. Like he doesn't block the ball. He should be as a good defender.
I don't know where I mean, he has his qualities. His qualities is to score goals as a defender, scoring defender. Fine. But when it is time to defend, fullbacks go for tackles. I don't see Alonso, that intensity and desire to defend.
He does push, but in a way that he gets a card.
Yes.
Like we noticed today.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of intimidating and like trying to disturb the balance of the striker or the wingers.
Yeah. He always commits fouls to pick a yellow card,
His hands are
exactly. Exactly. He does
he himself is weak, so he tries these things to adjust himself or whatever. That's not a good defender.
A good defender should not.
On the flip side, one of their defenders, Brighton defenders, I don't remember who was that, but he managed to imbalance Ziyech many times, just from his body.
Of course, if you just give Ziyech a nudge, he's gone because he's not strong.
Yeah. There was one instance Ziyech was complaining for a card.
No,
it was
this is Premier League, and in Premier League, it is intense. It is physical. If you're not physical, the refs are not going to call for everything, because they don't even know. Also, diving is also, being looked out for, if you just dive in. As a professional player, I'm playing in the Premier League, the referees are not calling everything. Imagine if they call for everything, we're not going to enjoy the game. The physicality of the game is part of the game. So you must be able to compete and stay physically on top of your game. That is what Chelsea is lacking. The energy, the intensity to compete physically, coupled with the skills and the ability of the team, they do not have that, and that is what happened here today. If you remember, there was a game we played against Watford. We nearly escaped the Watford game. We nearly escaped the Watford game. Watford were tearing us apart. we are tearing us apart. I think we won that game 3-2 or something. I can't remember. But yes, honestly, we were not good. And it all comes back again to the physical condition of the team, the physiology of the team, to be able to compare. You see today's game, everyone heads down, dejected. But why are you dejected? You're doing what you love. Except they are not playing the game. And maybe they don't love playing the game, or they don't love to play for Chelsea.
There is something going on. Even manager Tuchel, when he was interviewed after the game, I that was in the last game too. He couldn't maintain his eye contact with the interviewer, and his body language was very like he accepted defeat, or instead of being very confident, he was not confident. I'm not sure how what's going on, but I hope it changes in the next game. And
we have Spurs on Sunday.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, I was gonna segue into the upcoming games. Chelsea have a big game, although Tottenham has not played in a while.
Yeah, Tottenham playing tomorrow. They're playing Leicester City tomorrow. So that will be a very, very good game because Leicester City are also a very good team. So Leicester playing Spurs tomorrow. That will help us to see what Spurs will offer on Sunday. So we're going to see how that will play out, to see if I'm sure Antonio Conte will bring a different game to Leicester City. He's an energetic coach, and I think he's trying to transfer that as well to the players in Spurs. Harry Kane has not been the same player, for a while now, since his failed move to Man City, and he's trying to reinvent himself. Looking for it where it's greener. So it's not always greener elsewhere, but once you look for it and look for it and look for it, and you fight hard to get it and you don't get it, it messes up your psychological approach as well, and which is what he is struggling right now, to establish form. Because I think Harry Kane has dropped form a lot. He's not scoring goals like we know that he can score. The team is trying to pick up their bits and pieces, after they sacked Nuno Espirito Santo. So, but since Antonio Conte came in, they've been doing well. Although they are not up to the speed and intensity that Antonio Conte will want for the team, because we know how Chelsea played when he came into Chelsea. He played a high intense type of football, and that was when Chelsea first started playing with a back three. That was when we first started playing with back three, and then with wing backs. That was where Alonso was discovered. He scored very good goals for Chelsea then. Victor Moses was on the right. Victor Moses is an attacking player, but was converted into a right wing back, and he gave his very best on that. And that also tells you, Victor, for example, the physiology of the players play a lot of part. It plays an important role to players being able to play certain positions on the field. So that is what Antonio is trying to do with Tottenham. So we're going to see what tomorrow will look like when Tottenham step out to play Leicester, and they're playing at the at Leicester's home ground.
Yeah.
So we're going to see they're playing at the King Power Stadium. So hopefully they lose. I mean Spurs. If they lose, it means that even if they win all their other games, they might not still get it to top four. Because the main point idea now is that, I don't want them to dethrone Chelsea. Yeah. Now we're looking for top four instead of looking for the league, right?
Things have changed.
Things have changed a lot now.
Games, yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I trust that Leicester will be able to play a good game tomorrow. I know some of their top players are playing for Nigeria, the African Cup of Nations. Ghana was knocked out today. So one of their center backs will be coming back. But I'm sure it will not be until maybe he will not be coming back and playing tomorrow. So he will be coming back and playing in the next couple of weeks. But the other two midfielders, Ndidi and Ihana Achoa, are still with Nigeria, the AFCON. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow and what type of team, Leicester will be presenting. And the other game is Brentford and Manchester United. Brentford is a tricky team. They are full of energy. They have workaholic players as well.
Yeah.
And with the display from Man United, Man United defenders actually, if you give them space, that's when they can play and play you out.
Yep.
But if you disturb them, intimidate them, try to, push them hard,
Yeah. And they're like at the bottom of the table, not very bottom, but still, it's going to be an interesting game.
It's going to be an interesting one because, Brentford...
and they're home, and United is struggling too.
Exactly. So that makes it an interesting game of football tomorrow. Brentford are 14th on the table, and they're playing Man United, who are 7th, so 7 places in between. So we'll see how that will go. And I will predict for a win for Brentford or maybe a draw. And then I hope that Leicester will beat Spurs tomorrow. I'm sorry, Antonio Conte.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this picture. How we're looking at the ball.
Oh yeah, look at them. Look at them.
Chelsea's.
Look at the players. Downcast.
Yeah, the heads are down.
Heads down, shoulders down.
Yeah.
You've given up. And this was after the game, after the goal.
When Chelsea scored.
When a team is vibrant and when a team is upbeat, and even though you concede a goal, you still gather yourselves together and you push and you fight. I remember there was a game some seasons ago, some years ago, not just seasons ago. It was Chelsea against Reading. Was it Reading? I think so. Oh, no, I think it was QPR, Queen's Park Rangers. That game, Chelsea finished that game with 9 men, and Chelsea won that game. Didier Drogba played in that game. The team was together. They were playing for one another. They were fighting hard. We got a red card. We finished that game with 9 men. But it tells you the energy in the team, the desire in the team to work hard, to be able to win, to not lose that game. Imagine this team going down 9 men. Just imagine.
Yeah.
We went down 10 men against Liverpool that we tied 1-1 last year.
Yeah, it's a total.
And we still stayed and we played. I don't know what has happened to the team. There is something going on in the dressing room of this team. There's something.
Definitely.
There's a background thing going on there. Maybe there are cliques and players fighting each other and the manager is torn in between because he knows that, yes, he is German and there are some German players there. And honestly, I don't even know where to attribute the problem, but I know that there's something going on in the dressing room.
Something really big going on.
Something really big. Something really big.
Want to talk about.
Of course, he cannot.
Then the team is going to crumble. Well, the team is already crumbling.
Definitely, he will be fired if he talks. I think so.
Yeah.
And trust me, you fire Tuchel now, that's the worst thing that can happen to Chelsea. Yeah. Because I do not know which manager, that it's outside there.
Will take this.
That has the ability to take this team to where it should be.
Yeah.
There are some managers there that have been fired or that are without jobs. But is there any manager at the caliber of Tuchel that can take Chelsea to where they need to be or where they belong?
No.
Is there any other type of Pep Guardiola, Antonio Conte, even Ralf Rangnick?
No.
Even Jose Mourinho?
Jose Mourinho did not have a good time.
So he's not even having a good time. I
mean,
I don't think he'll ever come back to Chelsea. But I'm saying there is no manager out there
Yep.
that has the quality and that is at the caliber of this guy that we have right now. So if there is, I think we have the right manager, or maybe we have the wrong players.
True. Yep.
That's what I think.
Yep. Something. Yeah. I hope we get to learn what's going on, or Chelsea gets better. Best case scenario. But yeah, these are the games for tomorrow, and then on Thursday, it's. I think this is a cup game. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
Arsenal playing this is a cracker of a
yeah,
game.
Yeah.
It's a cracker of a game. The Arsenal against Liverpool. It's a cracker of a
And
game.
this is a postponed game. Right?
Yeah, it's a rescheduled game. Last week they played 0-0 in the first leg, so it's going to be a cracker of a game. So I'm looking forward to that game, Arsenal against Liverpool.
I don't think Liverpool will play with full squad.
They will play with full
They will.
squad because this is a semi-final here, and they need to get to a cup final. At least it's been a while since Liverpool was in a cup final in England, not in Europe, but in England. But yes, they played their full squad in the last time out on last week. So this time around, they have to push. And Arsenal will play in their full squad. So if Liverpool does not play their full squad, and they're playing away at Arsenal, so there might be a thing or two there. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, what do you predict? What's going to happen?
I want Liverpool to win. I want Liverpool to win. One of my very good friends, a Liverpool fan. So I want him to be happy. Dave, that's for you here. He's from Liverpool, actually. So I think Liverpool will win, but I think they will get to extra time and maybe penalty shootouts, and Liverpool will win. So we will see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And on Friday, the Watford versus Norwich City.
Watford plays Norwich. This is a very good game as well. Cracker. The fight of the bottoms. The bottom.
As you said,
the 17th.
To watch right now.
Yeah, the 17th and I think the 19th on the league table, or the 18th. I think Watford had climbed to 18th. So Watford would see this as an opportunity for them to come out of the drop zone. And Watford, Norwich will also, actually Norwich will see this game as an opportunity to come out of the drop zone, while Watford will see this as an opportunity for them to go a little bit higher up the table. Because the far you go up the table, right, the better chances you have for from surviving.
It's going to be
I think Watford will win this game.
Yeah.
I think Watford will win the game there. So, yeah.
Saturday looks packed.
I mean, that's the normal Premier League weekend again. So we'll see to that.
Lots of games. The last topic on the list that we want to talk about is the FIFA.
Oh, I think we got to do another show for this one. We got to do another
getting
show
too
for
long,
the one.
right.
This one is it. Guys, I hope you don't get bored with our Chelsea rant and
Excuse me.
bless you.
Thank you.
You're sneezing on camera, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's fine. You're a normal human being, so that's okay. We are not mainstream media.
Yeah, one day at a time.
Yeah, we should do another show for the
For the awards.
for the FIFA awards, which was full of crap for me. But anyway, is that all we have for now?
Yeah, that's all for today.
Well, guys, you've heard all about my rant.
Yeah, it was a rant week, but it was a necessary rant because as football fan, we want quality football versus problems.
Yeah, we just let the problems, be settled, in the clubs, and let the fans enjoy the game. You and I, we are fans, when you're passionate about the game, basically you have to talk about these things, because it's part of what makes life, going. you do your work in your office, you come back home and you try to enjoy some football, So, and when your team gives you a garbage type of football, it's like, what's all this? We all are paying
Yeah.
for to watch these players. Either you streaming it online, you're paying for data to stream it, you're paying for the services from the streaming service, or you're paying for a cable service to watch the game. And you are buying tickets, or you're a season ticket holder, you're going to the stadium to watch the game. And these guys are multimillionaires being paid to play football that they were just a hobby, right? But they are the fortunate ones to make millions out of the game, right? So why shouldn't they get on the field there and give their very best, so that we fans can also enjoy quality football? But for some teams are doing it very well. Brighton, kudos to you guys. You guys are doing it very well. Porter, Graham Porter is a very, very good coach, and maybe he might go to a bigger club soon. Everton is considering signing him. He's one of those that they would want to have. Everton is a big club. No offense to Brighton, but I think Everton is a bigger club. But yeah, Man City always doing it well, where even before Guardiola came, they did it well with Pellegrini. They won Premier League. Also, they won with Roberto Mancini. So it's not as if, they have not been doing well. So these are teams that are trying to give quality football. Don't forget Liverpool. Liverpool has been on it for Saints, even though they won it for the first time in the last 2 seasons. But trust me, they have been at it all the time, Chelsea has been at it, but sometimes we fluctuate. It's as if there is a cancerous thing in Chelsea that once a manager comes in, there's always something that happens that players just drop down tools and not ready to work. I don't know. That thing must be purged. Maybe I should come and do some work in the team spiritually or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, well, you guys, thank you very much for listening and watching. You can just put this in the background and listen while you do your stuff, because I think this is a very, very long
Yeah, it's
podcast.
like two hours.
Oh my goodness, wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, we appreciate you guys, and thank you very much.
See you guys next time.
Take care. Enjoy the games. Up the Chelsea.